Welcome back, guys, to the Sunday live stream, and today's topic is the keto diet didn't work for me. So now what? What are you going to do? What do you do after the ketogenic diet? That's the topic for today, and if you're new here, these live streams present an opportunity for an informal discussion where we can talk about the keto diet, and in the case of the context of this channel, we really like to present people who have been on the keto diet, had personal experience with it, and decided to go in a different direction. That being said, we also have people within this community who are doing the ketogenic diet and getting good results. And so it's not necessarily only a place for people to talk and discuss their failures on the ketogenic diet, but also if it's working for you, to share some tips and techniques on maybe how you can get the best results. Are you doing it more plant-based? Are you doing it more animal-based? How do you break down some of the vegetables that you include in the diet? What about fiber? All of these things are topics that come up on these live streams. And today's topic is the keto diet didn't work for me, or it didn't work for you in this case, but it also didn't work for me in real life. But if you're watching this, it might not be working for you. And sometimes it can be hard to recognize when something's not working. How do you know when it's time to move on? And more importantly, in this case, what are you going to do after the keto diet so you don't gain weight back? It might be a success depending on what your goals are as to whether or not you stop doing the keto diet, as whether or not you consider it a failure or a success. If your goal was weight loss and you lost some weight, but you've decided that you've had enough of the keto diet or it doesn't really fit your lifestyle or your food preferences, then how do you maintain that weight loss? Because the keto diet is basically the lowest carbohydrate diet you can get. Besides maybe a full carnivore diet, but there's a zero carb diet is the only thing lower than the keto diet is a zero carb diet. So if you're going to stop keto, unless you go carnivore, which is still somewhat a keto diet in a lot of ways. If you're going to stop the keto diet, though, that inherently means that you will be reincorporating healthy carbohydrates back into your diet. Maybe I should give that a caveat. You want to include the healthiest carbohydrates back into your diet and omit the least healthy carbohydrates. So that would probably be the first rule. The first tip would be, if you're going to stop keto, choose the healthiest carbohydrates. And in fact, guys, I actually made a video, a dedicated video, not a live stream, not one of these informal discussions, but a dedicated video where I show you the science on some of the healthiest carbohydrate choices after you stop the ketogenic diet. Now, that video, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the description down below, and we'll put that in the card above this video. This is how to stop the keto diet without gaining weight. This is such an underrated video, guys. I hope y'all are able to check this out after the stream. So I'll put a link in the description for that too. It's going to have a lot of information about how to prepare yourself for reintroducing healthy carbohydrates. And that can mean different things for each of us, depending on what your needs are. Maybe you're going to introduce berries and broccoli, or maybe you're going to introduce beans and oatmeal, but it shouldn't be soda and potato chips. We all know that, but we got to say it. We got to say it because people are confused, and a lot of times when you come off of a diet, you don't make the best choices. Let's be honest, guys. Have any of y'all been there? Have any of y'all experienced that for yourselves? Because I know that I have. And in fact, what I did when I was doing some research for this video, I realized that a lot of people have stopped the keto diet. And there's quite a number of testimonies on YouTube about this, guys. Check it out. People have reasons for leaving this diet. And that's one of the good things about this live stream that we do on Sundays between around noon and 3 p.m. That's when you can usually catch these. Is that we're not afraid to talk about our failures on any given diet. So we've got people in the community who have moved on from keto and gone a different direction. And we've also got people in the community who've moved on from vegan and go in a different direction, or from a plant-based diet. Now, what I see is that a lot of people who do keto and have the best success on it seem to be doing a very heavily plant-based keto, lots of non-starchy vegetables, and of course the leafy greens. But those cruciferous vegetables, those leafy greens, those are things that you can safely include on your diet regardless of exactly which direction you go. But you're going to want to get plenty of that in, plenty of those healthy vegetables in. That's my opinion. And that's really what's worked for me. So ironically, guys, I have done another video on what I eat now to show you guys how I've transitioned into a plant-based diet. And it's come about over a long period of time, some years to get to, sorry, I got the light shining on it, to this point here. But yeah, I'm including lots of healthy starches in the diet, lots of beans, oatmeal, legumes, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn tortillas. And so I show you guys exactly what I eat in that video, so you can see how after doing keto, I'm now able to maintain weight loss and a relative level of fitness for me. I'm not a fitness model. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a normal guy, but I'm proud of my results. And so, if you can get results like this, are you going to be happy? If you're coming, it depends on what your goals are. Is it weight loss? Is it fitness? I work out. I'm a novice lifter. I'm not a expert lifter, but I like cardio and I enjoy exercise now because I have energy, and that energy largely comes from complex carbohydrates. That's the fuel source for your body if you're not in ketosis, and it's the primary fuel source for your body in general. So in order to get into ketosis, you have to severely restrict carbohydrates. We're talking less than 50 grams a day for most people. Now, if you have a very heavily plant-based diet, the plant-based keto diet, you might be able to get away with more carbohydrates, but those are going to be high fiber, whole plant foods. And you may be able to stay in ketosis there. But the point being that for most people, being in ketosis implies a direct and deliberate restriction of carbohydrates. And so now I don't do that. I don't restrict carbohydrates anymore. I eat lots of carbs. I show you guys in that video what I eat so you can see, and you can see the results that I'm getting. Now, when it comes to the keto diet, there are some studies about weight loss. So very low carbohydrate ketogenic diets are described in the medical literature. And they've even been compared to things like low fat diets. So this is one study I want to share with you guys. Check this out. It's a meta-analysis that compares very low carbohydrate ketogenic diets to a low fat diet. And what they found in this study is that the people on the very low carb ketogenic diet for a year, it's a meta-analysis, so there's more than one study being referenced. But in the groups that, let me make sure I'm saying this right. In the groups that were assigned to the ketogenic diet for over a year, I believe they're looking at this time frame as over a year, they saw a mean weight loss of slightly less than 1 kilogram. So about 2 pounds. So these people were on, in these studies, this collective study of studies, the people were on keto diet, who were on keto diets for a year, ended up seeing about 2 pounds of weight loss. So that's not something that I think most people would acknowledge as their goal. If your goal is to lose weight, I think most people would acknowledge, like, hey, 2 pounds over a year is not as ambitious as my goal is. Now, it depends on what your health situation is, and if you can lose 2 pounds, that's great. You might be happier losing 2 pounds over the course of a month or two, or even faster. I know a lot of people want rapid weight loss, but when it comes to it being safe, I don't think losing more than about a pound a week is something that you're going to be able to sustain. But 2 pounds in a year is not spectacular, guys. And so that's a meta-analysis on very low carbohydrate ketogenic diets. Now, they're comparing it to low-fat diets, and they say that the keto diets did better than the low-fat diets. What I've seen when I start to dig into these studies is that a lot of times the groups that are portrayed as eating low-fat diets in these studies end up getting around 30% of calories from fat or greater. I covered this in a video where Thomas DeLauer, where he compared low-carb diets to low-fat diets and says, low-carb so much better. And I actually dug into the studies, all of the studies that he cited. And what did we find, guys? We found that the groups that were eating the low-fat diets were often eating 30, 33%, 35% calories from fat. So the standard American diet is 35% calories from fat. And quite frankly, like with the amount that Americans eat out at restaurants now, I would say that's on the low end. It easily could see the standard American diet being 35, 40% calories from fat and up. So 35% calories from fat is not really a low-fat diet. Dr. McDougall's diet is much lower in fat. The Dean Ornish diet that reversed heart disease with lifestyle modifications, much lower in fat. The Caldwell-Esselstyn's diet, we're talking about much lower in fat. That's the prevent and reverse heart disease diet. So when we're talking about low-fat diets in the context of healthy, plant-based nutrition, it's probably not the low-fat diets that are in this study where the people on the keto diets lost 2 pounds over a year and did better. I think that a lot of people who pursue a program like McDougall or one of Dean Ornish's programs, I read the book The Spectrum. That was a very helpful book for me from Dean Ornish. And he's got a new book out. I believe it's called Undo It. Yeah, y'all might want to check that out. Check out what Dean Ornish is up to, because his message has only gained steam and his evidence base has only grown over the years since his research was originally published in the 1990s. And that's what's fascinating about this, guys. We're talking about a connected chain of information that supports the idea of plant-based nutrition, and that's what I advocate now on this channel. So even if you do choose to include some animal products in your diet, I think you'll really be able to sustain your results and your weight loss if you eat a predominantly plant-based diet and include the healthiest choices, which if you're coming off of keto and you want to know what to do after keto, this video lays out so much science and so many details of why. And in this video, I choose 2 specific foods for you that I think are the best choices, the best complex carbohydrate choices to reintroduce that are going to help you maintain glycemic control, not gain weight back, and also you're going to stay full and have energy, which is what really matters in my book. I don't want to be hungry all the time. I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to be hungry all the time on any diet, and that's not going to work for me. If I'm hungry, diet's not going to work for me. One of the choices in that video that I recommend is legumes, beans and legumes, guys. And the science supports this. And I'm going to show you guys. This is one of the studies I cite in that video. Go ahead and pull that up so you can see it. This is a meta-analysis that looks at the effect of beans and legumes on weight loss. So this is not a mystery, dude. It's not a mystery, guys. Beans are great for weight loss because they keep you full and they provide complex carbohydrates, fiber. They're very filling. It's very difficult to overeat on beans. They're high in protein. So legumes and beans, they're also called pulses. This is things like chickpeas, split peas, pinto beans, black beans. How long has it been since you've had lentils, split lentils? You know what I mean? Get these foods back in your diet. If you're not eating these foods, then you're missing out. You're missing out on satiating foods that give you energy, and you can build muscle on them too. You can build muscle and potentially stay lean for life. So this is going to be basically the video for today, guys. I have tried the keto diet. I had a long rabbit hole experience with low carb diets in general, and there was a progression. It was a progression. You know, paleo was what originally attracted me because there's a angle to it, a marketing angle that has to do with an ancestral approach to dieting, which, if you look at the actual historical record, it's questionable. It's questionable, guys, whether or not the marketing behind these ancestral diets is actually congruent with reality and with the history of human dieting. Let's see, we got Crimson in the comments. Crimson, let me ask you a question. Is the audio coming through in sync with the video? Is that happening accurately at this point? I always want to know that because it's a live stream and I've had some issues with it messing up in the past. Yeah, so I did experience keto diet at the end of my progression, which went from like paleo to like really local. I was really trying to do like a local paleo thing, like all organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised meats, and real low carb. And then I kind of started cycling carbs a little bit. And then that was around the time that the bulletproof diet got really popular, and ketosis, it was really like the first wave of ketosis. I would say Dave Asprey and the bulletproof diet was kind of the first wave. Many of y'all who are just catching on to the keto thing now don't know that a lot of people experienced this in the mid-2000s because bulletproof coffee was a big deal, and ketosis really kind of popped for the first time then. I mean, I know Atkins was a proponent of ketosis, but that's almost before my time, man. I wasn't eating any food in the 1970s. I was not present for that. So, or the 1980s, whatever. It was before I was doing real things. Yeah. So that's the story. And then eventually ended up going down the keto road. And where did it lead me, guys? I mean, a lot of people have asked me to share more of this story. Yeah, Karen. Moderate carb. So you're still doing high fat and intermittent fasting. Interesting. Yeah, Karen, I hope you'll check out that video I did. I'll show you, if you're just tuning in, I'll put a link to this in the description. This is kind of my approach to how to stop the keto diet without gaining weight, and I put a bunch of science in there. I think for some people, a moderate carb approach with high fat, that can work. But like you said, you're still fasting and doing one meal a day, and for a lot of people, that's a tough routine to maintain with their lifestyle. And so for me, I know eating one meal a day is a little bit outside the bounds of what my lifestyle affords me to be able to do, because I work on my feet, I work outside a lot, and also, you know, sometimes my sleep is not as good as it should be. So I got to eat to get energy throughout the day a lot of times. And so in that case, I think for me personally, going high fat with moderate carbs wouldn't have worked for me. But I think it's interesting to see that approach working for you, and I'm glad that is working for you. And yeah, I'd be curious. Let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're able to maintain the results that you're happy with, and whether or not you would try any different changes, or have you tinkered with a low-fat diet. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and so back to the story, kind of on my journey. Where did keto eventually lead me? Guys, it led me to being really, my health declined gradually, and then eventually my health was like catastrophically declined, and there was almost nothing I could do. I didn't know what to do because I had been to all sorts of specialists and had tried to get my diet under control, and a lot of the people that I was seeing were saying that you got to make sure you're getting healthy fats, and my health just kept getting worse. Eventually I was skinny fat. I couldn't build muscle. I had no energy. I was caffeine dependent because I just wasn't able to get energy from the fat. I mean, it just really wasn't working. I was not having success with that. I ended up being skinny fat, and I hated that. And I had my health just decline terribly on a progression of low carb diets that went lower and lower carb. And there was times when carbs were getting cycled, and there was different approaches being attempted throughout that time. It's not my story is not that different from a lot of people. Because see, once you go low carb, and then eventually that leads you to keto, you internalize a lot of thoughts about carbs being bad. And so if it's so funny that eating lots of complex carbohydrates is what ended up helping me restore my health. It's quite interesting because I would have never been able to swallow that pill. I ended up finding Dr. McDougall. Even when I started first doing plant-based, y'all, I was eating lots of fruit. Still thought starches were bad for you. And then I found Dr. McDougall. Dr. McDougall is AKA Dr. Starch. Yeah, Dr. McDougall was definitely the first person who just flipped the script, y'all. McDougall flipped the script, and he was like, starch is healthy. Starch will give you energy. Starch will keep you full, but it's not going to work if you're pouring oil on it. Sorry, getting some notifications. New video from Ivan Blasquez just coming through. Yeah, starch is, you're not going to do well on starch if you're pouring oil on starch, and I wouldn't have got that without McDougall. I wouldn't have figured that out. It's so funny that something so simple I would not have figured out, because I had internalized a lot of this carbs are bad mentality that comes with the low carb blogs, the low carb community, the low carb books, the paleo books, the keto books, all of the stuff that I was reading, my doctors, all the specialists, the chiropractor I was seeing. It's so funny now because the business models that we criticize on the internet with the low carb chiropractor business model and the nutritional typing business model, like the Mercola model that we've seen, we're now seeing a ton of fitness influencers go down that road. V-Shreds is now putting out, your nutritional typing, blood type diets, this kind of stuff. And so it's very interesting to see that the loop that I was caught in has now expanded to online and the marketplace for weight loss in a much broader sense. And that's one of the reasons why I think my insights can be helpful to you guys. And you can see how to stop the keto diet, what to do after that, how to reincorporate healthy carbohydrates into your diet without gaining weight back, having plenty of energy, being able to kill it on your workouts, get your job done, live your life, how to have that kind of energy without pain, terrible joint pain. It's one of the reasons why I originally turned from kind of the paleo side to the high fat keto side, is that I read on blogs and stuff that keto was good for joint pain. And at the time, I was working a high stress job, had joint pain, and man, it was such a mistake to go down that road in retrospect, because I didn't know all the science that I know now. But a lot of research has come together to bring this channel to where it is now. And I want y'all to know I have got some exciting stuff in the works. I'd say there's probably 4 or 5 videos that I've got basically planned out, laid out, that are going to be kind of those heavy hitting, red pill vegan videos that y'all love. But I've been reluctant to kind of complete all of these because I keep finding new context that I think will really add to each layer of this discussion. And so I got one that's probably going to come out next week. Just started really getting the actual production level of that one together, and I don't want to drop all the details of what it's going to be about, but I mean, this is getting into some stuff that when you look at, it's going to change the game. I think I'm about to change the discussion in a big way on diet and health, and I think a lot of people are going to be reacting to what's coming out of this channel in the near future, because this is powerful stuff, guys. And I've got the ability now to work. I still have to work and do my thing, but I've got the ability now to take a little bit of extra time and look at what's being said and look at what is actually being done, and then share the insights with you guys about how that relates to a broader picture of research, a better understanding of health and nutrition, just based on what's out there. Because if you don't, that's what's great about this channel. I can condense all the stuff that I took a week or two to really dig up and get into, and then my past history of experience with, I can condense that into a 10-minute video. This is just a live stream. This is an informal discussion just to share our thoughts and build the community. But when I make videos, I can really make them hit. I can make them hammer and put that, boom, hit you with that science, hit you with that information, show you who's saying what and what that means to you, what that means for you in the decisions that you make in your life, for yourself, for your loved ones. What's on your plate is what you become, is who you are in a lot of ways. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. I think we're going to drop the live stream right there. Joey Carbstrong coming on at 1 p.m. for all the plant-based vegans out there who enjoy his antics and his activism. I'm going to go tune into his live stream. So I think we are going to leave it there, guys. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure you tune in on Sundays for these live streams from noon to 3, right about in there. And we'll be talking it up next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before I leave, if you haven't already, hit the like button on this stream so more people can see it, and feel free to share it. And check out the videos that I will link in the description and the cards that we talked about today so y'all can see how to stop the keto diet without gaining weight. And then you can see what I eat and what my lifestyle looks like now with how I was able to build muscle and lose fat, eating starch, eating complex carbohydrates, being satisfied, full, not hungry, and that's what it's about. Yeah, all right. Lauren, good to see you. It's good to see y'all checking in. I saw Cold Cuts, a few other people. It's French Blue in the house. We got a few people that I love seeing on Sundays. Thank you guys for joining me. Taint in the house. All y'all. Plant-based, Planet Janet, good to see you. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. It's been fun, guys. It's great. I wanted to show you guys before I go. I'm not in a hurry to rush, but last night I went to a concert and I picked up this plant-based dripping shirt from Gray, the vegan rapper. You heard. So I posted a video with Gray doing a little bit of his show. It was real fun. That was real fun. So I got the plant-based dripping t-shirt. What y'all know about that? That's fun right there, man. Support local artists. Support people in the vegan community that you like. I want to tell y'all, when y'all support me, that makes a big difference for me. And I'm not just talking about Patreon. I got a few of y'all on Patreon, and I appreciate y'all so much because that gives me just a little bit extra freedom to make this production happen. But it's not just Patreon is the way to support me. There's a lot of ways y'all can support. So let me give y'all a quick skinny on that. Check it out. So if I post a video and you can't watch it right then, it's still cool if y'all come and throw me a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment. Hey, I can't wait to see this. Or, just, hey, what's up, Red Pill Vegan? I'm going to check this video out later. And then you come back and you watch the video and then leave another comment. All of that stuff tells YouTube, hey, y'all are engaged. We're creating quality stuff here. And then YouTube's going to see that, and they're going to go, man, pump this video to people who don't know about this channel yet. And that is support. That kind of support. When you build a community, you can't fake that. There's no way to fake that. So I appreciate y'all so much. When you watch my videos, try to watch from beginning to end. A lot of times when I do, not just with the live streams, but when I do the videos, the detailed videos where I get into the science, a lot of times the point builds, the progression of ideas builds until the end of the video. And so if y'all watch the whole video, that tells YouTube these people that in the community are interested in this content enough to actually watch it. And I know it sounds like a simple tip, but if y'all want to support the channel, let me know. Leave the comments, throw me the thumbs up, share my videos, and watch them all the way through. And I will always be down to support you guys too and share the best information that I can. So it's been a lot of fun. I don't have anything on the turntable today for the music, so there's not going to be any outro music this time. But thank you guys for joining me. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure you subscribe. Catch you guys next Sunday and look for my new videos coming this week. Red Pill Vegan